had a brief discussion last week about, or a couple weeks ago, about what we thought were the successes of what we did 2 weeks ago and what we thought were maybe probably not quite as successful. And so we're going to change that game up that we played with a couple weeks ago. A couple weeks ago, what we did was we gave you a ski performance, an initial, like an observed. If we're going to be looking at that graphic, is that graphic still up or it's still up?
Yeah.
So we were here in this observed ski performance area. And what we were hoping that you would do is you would give us a good observed body performance out of that ski performance, and then a new body performance, which is going to allow us to have a new ski performance, and then transition that into some kind of a task that would help us change this new ski performance, this new body performance.
So we're getting into prescription.
Well, you know what? You guys asked for it, and this is what we're going to do.
I
Right?
think that that's great because that
Yeah.
really is where it's at.
I 100% agree. And this is the reason why this is a cycle is every time that I stop and I look at my students, I'm already doing a new reel. What are they doing now? What are they doing differently than they do before? How can I improve on that and move them in a new direction? Do I stick with the task that I have? Do I modify the task that I have? Do I change something that's going to change that performance or make it a little bit more targeted? This is a constant cycle. And I think all of you guys recognize that, right? When we're out teaching a lesson, this is what we're doing. It's always on. We're never stopping. It's not like at the beginning of the day, okay, this is what we're going to do. It's Tuesday, which means it's going to be ski to ski. And this is a task we're going to do, and hopefully there'll be a performance change at the end of the day. No, we're always changing it, always changing it. And maybe the student that we have has indicated some motivation at the beginning of the day, and that motivation has changed throughout the day, and we have to adjust what we're trying to do in order to achieve that motivation, right? Maybe they've elevated the motivation. Maybe they suddenly realize that bumps are a thing for them and they really want to try that. At the beginning of the day, they're like, nah, I don't really want to do that. And now they're like, hey, you know what? We've gone through the trees. We've done some sing-songy turns through the trees. Maybe we try for a bump run. And that's something that we want to kind of try to do. That's the changing of the guest movement and the motivation. And maybe they're understanding a little bit down here, and that changes the task, or we modify the task. So this is a constant cycle. This is how I see teaching, honestly. And Dion, can you chime in on that? Is this kind of how you see it too? She's working on
Oops.
her. No.
The only thing I do differently than you do is when I go from real to ideal, I don't go from body to body. I go back to ski. And I'm doing that because I see that as my teachable outcome. And it's the measurable outcome. It's the part on a video that I'm going to show them, because that's actually the part that matters.
Yes.
Their body may not be perfect, but if their ski performance is doing what we need them to do in a given situation, I can let some things go in the body performance. If I'm looking for ideal body performance and don't pay attention to what the skis are doing, yeah, if I have ideal body performance, I will have ideal ski performance. But especially when I'm teaching or coaching, the ski performance is what I'm aiming at. So maybe your hand's a little out of place. Maybe you still got a little bit of a shoulder twist. Maybe one foot goes in front a little bit. Whatever that is, that's not perfect in the realm of ideal for the body. But if the skis are doing what we set out to do, then I can let that go for now and focus on that new learning.
Any questions on that? And I 100% agree. What we notice is the skis. And if there's a new ski performance, we can assume that there's probably a different body performance.
Doesn't Murmur have her whole program on just about the ski performance? Because if you correct the ski performance, the body sometimes already aligns itself, not necessarily ideally, but
Yes,
more aligned.
yes,
So
yes. And it's,
do you
it
know
becomes
about
from,
Murmur?
and this is where Dion and I can argue all day long. I see it as a chicken and egg thing. If there's a new body performance, there's probably going to be a new ski performance. She's arguing that if there's a new ski performance, there's probably a new body performance. You know, this is it's not a voice of contention. It's a voice of yes, we're arguing the same thing. We could argue about that all day long.
Yeah, I wasn't arguing. I was
yeah.
just bringing up the program.
No, and I think
that
that's
Murmur
true. I
wants
really
to-
do.
yeah.
I kind of lean a little bit more towards the body side, because if I can get the body doing what it's supposed to do, then the skis are probably going to be doing what they're supposed to do. The skis are telling me if the body is going to be in the right place. See how that works? It's just, you know, that could be an endless argument, and I'm not going to go there.
Yeah,
That's for people like me and Dion and Larry and everybody else to argue, not for us to pass down.
I just I watched a European coaching thing, and he was very big on, you know, he said one of his big things was that without the right level of fitness, a good skier has a really hard time becoming a great skier. And it has a lot to do with kind of the body awareness piece. And I think that, I think that the changing of the body performance will lead to a change in ski performance. I mean, that's just, you know, and through the understanding of the action of the ski, then that skier can then repeat the body performance. They can start to repeat the body performance. And, you know, you're right, Chuck, it is the chicken and the egg, or the egg and the chicken.
It really becomes, I mean, this is a really good point, because when you start talking about racing, you're talking about millimeters of differences, and those millimeters of differences become down to what the ski performance is doing at that particular time. And what do we got to do in order to make that body to achieve that ski performance? But
Mhm.
let's get back on task. We
I'm
can
gonna
argue
s-
about this all day.
Hey, Gumby, I'm going to say
Yeah.
that millimeters for ski performance doesn't just matter to racers.
Yeah, it matters to
Um,
everybody.
It matters to everybody, because changing a couple of millimeters, you really do get a change in whether it's ski performance first or body performance first. You get a change, and often it's a lot easier to move and create things. And I find it really interesting how I've changed one little thing and all of a sudden a lot of things change. So
A lot of things
But
fall into place.
at our level, it's more like centimeters. And at most folks' level, sometimes it's somewhere between inches and feet. But again, I mean, I digress. So, tonight, what we're going to do is something a little different. What I noticed is that you guys did last 2 weeks ago, you did a really good job of deciphering the ski performance, the observed ski performance. And you did a really good job of translating that into an observed body performance, but it kind of skipped. And there was maybe a little bit talk about the new body performance. And there may have been a little bit of talk about the ski performance. That's just showing what was different. But we kind of went right to the task. So what I'd like to do tonight is talk about, I'm going to give you a new ski performance and a situation, and maybe even the task that was used. And I want you to go backwards. I want you to dissect it down to what you think the observed ski performance was and the observed body performance was. And allude that to the new body performance that achieved the new ski performance. Yay, nay, does that make sense? I'm going to give you an example, all right? And I'm going to take this example and I'm going to throw it in the chat because this is going to be a lot easier that way. Where did I put it? Give me a second.
Chuck, I'm gonna
I
ask
thought
you
I
to
had,
bring this, I'm
I
gonna
thought I
ask you
had
to
this
bring
up.
this to our MA sessions.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Dion and I have been talking about this for a month about how we
Mm-hmm,
can improve these sessions and try to make them a little bit more
mm-hmm.
targeted. And we need to, think of new and interesting ways. Why is this not popping up? Of trying to discover, looking at the MA cycle in different ways so we can just achieve different results.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I had this up. I'm so sorry. And I don't know what happened to it. Oh, here it is. All right. So I'm going to throw this into the chat. And I apologize. This is very, very awkward. Actually, this is not even a good place to put it. We're going to put it in the email, or we're just going to show the email so that we can see it. All right. This is the skier. His name is Mike Lakowski. Situation is bump skiing. He wants to improve his bump skiing. The task used was edged garlands or some kind of side hill railroad tracks. Execution cue was at the end of the turns, pull the knees down the hill. The new performance skis tip smoothly and simultaneously earlier in the turn. Outside ski bends as outside ski unbends smoothly through the transition. New ski performance results in pressure being distributed more evenly through the turn. And I'll just leave that up. So task is some kind of side hill railroad track or some kind of a edged garland. We want to move the knees down the hill so that the skis tip. And we want to get earlier edge engagement in the turn. That it's going to allow us to, reduce the amount of pressure at the end of the turn. Because what we're probably seeing is a skier who is
I can guess.
go. I'm going to go ahead and let you do that.
I'm going to say the skis probably pivot at the top of the turn and come to an edge late after the fall line as they're moved away from the skier's body. So the skier is in an inclinated position at finish.
Beautifully said. So why did we pick that task?
Because in order to do a side hill railroad track, I have to stay on top of my skis as I edge them.
And if we're
And
already on, if we get the ski on edge, what does it keep the ski from doing?
sliding away.
Well, and pivoting.
Yeah, pivoting.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Right?
pivot, it doesn't slide away, it will steer rather than twist rapidly.
So now we're into, and this is the one thing that I thought about earlier today was I haven't really instituted the, the common threads. That will come later. We'll do that later. Because I need to thoroughly think about that. But no, I think you're right. I mean, instead of, well, I mean, we can visualize this skier from an extension standpoint. What do you think they're extending?
I think they have a quick extension at initiation, and it's coupled with a twist of their upper body.
Right. And what's that going to do to them in the bumps
And
from a pressure standpoint?
It's going to make them very light at initiation, very heavy at finish.
Yeah.
As far as pressure goes, and extra heavy at finish because that's when they're going to hit the bump.
Right. So if we extend both legs, what's that going to do from a ski to ski pressure standpoint?
I'm going to stand on the inside one.
Yeah, probably. And that means you're going to land on which one?
The inside one.
Yeah.
And I might even have a wedge at one part
Probably.
of my turn,
Well,
depending
I mean,
on whether I'm
you have
using
to-
my hips or my shoulders.
It depends on the position that you're in. I mean, there could be a wedge because you have to, I mean, if you extend, you're probably going to have a quick twist, right? Because it depends on where they're extending from. Are they extending down the hill or are they extending up or are they extending back? If they're up and back, there's probably going to have to be some kind of upper body movement.
well, and with edged garlands, you'll have a better tendency to maintain level of flexion that will allow you to actually tip the knees more effectively at the top of the turn.
Yeah, 100%. Has anybody tried edged garlands and bumps?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. No, I highly
Mhm.
recommend it. Anybody else got anything they want to add?
What are edged garlands as opposed to unedged garlands or?
Well, I kind of included them together because they're very similar. So an edge railroad track or a side hill railroad track, a regular railroad track is down the hill. One of the tasks that we do was we'll take a railroad track and we'll put it on a side hill. And the ideal is we want to be able to tip our legs this way and then back, and then this
Mhm.
way and then back. And you want to make sure that the turn is very consistent one way or the other. And the idea is that we can tip simultaneously into the turn and then chicken out, and then tip simultaneously in the turn and chicken out. So whether you call it a side hill railroad track or a garland, an edged
edged garland.
garland, is, I mean, we're basically talking about the same thing.
Oh,
But the
okay.
idea is if I can get the skier to edge early and simultaneously, that means grip is going to occur earlier. And the gripping part coupled with the steering part is going to allow them to smooth out the pressure throughout the turn, which is part of one of the descriptions. Yes, no, maybe. Arguments for,
Mhm.
against. I'm not as smart as you think I am.
I think you're smarter than you think you are, Gumby, because when you think about it, if you want to have two clean tracks in the snow, doing a railroad track going across the hill like you would going down the hill, you have to manage your ski to ski pressure
Yes.
much more accurately or the ski will slip and pivot a little bit when you try and go down the hill. It'll edge going up the hill and it'll smear going down the hill. So, and it's an easy way to check because you can turn around and look at your tracks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Questions? Does this sound really complicated?
I'm getting a
Am
little
I-
thrown here when you throw in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
situation bump skiing,
Uh-huh.
because, you know, the tasks, the new ski performance to me is more working toward more of like carved turns, carved medium, radius turn. And in bumps, I don't really focus on edging skis so much. I focus more on maybe a little body performance, flexion extension. I focus on pivoting. I focus on things like that. I don't really talk about edging and bump skiing. And
Wow. Cool. I love it.
Oh,
I love the
you
fact
should
that you said
try
that.
it.
Well,
I'm
wait,
gonna
no, no,
try
no.
this,
She
I
fell for my
suppose.
trap.
I mean, we were doing stork turns and bumps at Solitude last year, so that was new.
Yeah. No, 100, you fell for my trap. Um,
Yeah, we
so
all have a bias.
we all, no, it's not necessarily a bias. It's literally, how do we edge in bumps?
You know,
How
I think
does
it
the
happens
edging happen in bumps?
naturally. I don't think it's not something that I feel like you have to force, especially a guest or even ourselves. You know, to me, bump skiing is a lot more two-footed. You know, Terry Barber, we
Yeah,
do
yeah.
bumps a lot at Sugarbush, and he's always introing it with like one-footed inside, you know, one-footed turns, whatever. It's like working on 2 feet a lot, and then you get into the bumps, and
Yeah.
pivots, and you know, and then the extension flexion or
So let
down.
me ask you.
The edging to me, I'm having a hard time.
No, no, and I get it. I 100% because I blow people away in clinics, on bump clinics, when I start talking about edging.
Yeah, you're
And they're
blowing.
like, no, and it's not necessarily, and the problem that people run into is they think they have to be on more edge.
Right.
And they
When we
don't,
get into bumps, you don't want to be on a lot of edge
right.
because edging, and this is where this task, and I did this on purpose. I brought this task in because I was hoping it would cause a debate. It is a railroad track. What does that mean? That means I am literally carving turns, right? Do we want to carve turns in a bumps?
No.
It depends
Why?
how
say no.
spicy we want it, Gumby.
I'm gonna say I
Why?
would never do railroad tracker edging task.
So
or
that's a perfect response. But so why do we not want to be having a lot of edge in the bumps?
Yeah, no.
Okay, hang on. There's a difference between having edge
Okay.
and
Yes.
having more edge than I need for the performance I want.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
My
And what-
skis will not steer a turn, like a round turn, unless there is some edge engagement. It doesn't have to be a lot, but it has to happen. And it has to happen at the top, or it won't be round.
It has to start at the top. That's right.
And if I want my bump line to be a little smoother and not get stuck in the wicked nasty
Right.
zipper line, if you haven't skied at Winter Park, you haven't seen evil zipper lines.
Shark
You
fins.
mean inconsistent zipper lines?
I mean the damn bump
sounds
is
bad.
undercut.
Yeah,
So, but if I want to steer out to like the neighboring bump and around, so I'm avoiding a hole or a stick or whatever happens to be in that trough, I need to have a little edge engagement at the top. If I don't, my skis are just going to pivot and they're going to go down, and then I'm going to have to pivot them more at the bottom, and I'm going to have a hard smash.
I was going to say, then you're going to have a hard landing. That's right.
And then not only will that happen, but you'll probably accelerate because you're on a lot of edge.
And because even if I keep my edge flat at the bottom, running into that bump, I'm going to have the naturally occurring edge because I've come off the shoulder of the upper bump and now my
Mhm.
skis are on a steep piece of slope.
Yeah.
But I've also spent more time in the fall line. because I've been more down the hill than working off of vectors on a turn. So if I pivot too much, I go faster, which is why the zipper line is so much faster, is because you spend more time in the fall line. So if I want to make a rounder line and control the speed, or make a wider line, say I've got somebody who is a beginner, maybe they're not ready for a 1x1 line. Maybe they need like a 2x2 line, or a 2x3 line, or a 3x2 line. So a much wider, more like a size of a basic parallel rather than a short turn. In some nice easy bumps, if I'm too flat, I can't make that line. But there's a difference between coming inside and being inclinated, where I can't control precisely my edge angle with small movements, and using my lower leg to begin my turn with some edge angle. It doesn't have to be a lot. It has to be enough that the skis release and very slightly engage so that I can steer. It doesn't have to be then progress to 45 degrees.
Right. The thing about the edge garland is that, as you're moving across the hill, your edge angle, you can regulate fairly easily. But as you transition to the downhill portion, you have to be very, very aware of your edge angle, as you start to go down the hill. Otherwise, you're going to, like, it causes inclination, it causes a rapid movement inward, into the hill. And like you're saying, Dion, it's that action of the lower legs that really helps you regulate that.
Yes.
If you're not, and that goes back to my idea of being, we talked about extension not being a good thing, right? But that flexion that we try and maintain there gives us that mobility that we
Yes.
need.
Yes.
The
And we
other
haven't really
reason
gone
is,
in that.
even if you wanted to take this back and look at a more pivoty turn, in more ideal bump skiing, I would like that pivot and steering and turning action of my ski to come from my legs rather
Mhm.
than my shoulders or my
Rather than
hips.
shoulders, yeah.
If I am not controlling my edge angle because I'm tipped too far inside the turn, I also then can't turn my legs because I'm in a biomechanically,
Compromised.
compromise. There's a good word, Larry. Maybe if I'm strong enough, maybe I can turn my legs. Most skiers that we ski with as instructors are not strong enough to do that for more than one turn. Gumby might be able to pull it off for 3 or 4 turns because he's really strong. He works out a lot.
Yeah, I'm terrible though.
But Michaela can probably pull it off for, a dozen, because she can leg press all of us.
Hmm.
But that's a matter of strength. As soon as I become tipped inside, I've also then lost the ability to turn my legs effectively.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
if I want a
Agreed.
pivoty turn, I also then have to use that idea of angulation to keep my femurs available for steering.
So back to your question, Joanne, did that help answer the question, or are you still confused?
No, I mean, I understand there's edging happening, but I just don't focus on tasks
It's
that are
not,
edge related. if
yeah.
helping it,
So
because,
let me help you out. It's not about the edging, it's about the unedging.
well, here it says the tasks that you're using are edged garlands and the railroad.
Yes,
So,
yes, but you got to start thinking about edging as also unedging.
yeah, I
Yeah,
understand.
if you look
Yeah,
at the
tipping
yeah, if you
away.
look at the execution cue at the end of the turn, pull the knees or
Oh,
or tip the knees down the hill.
tipping.
that's the action of
That's the
being
unedging
able to
part.
flatten the ski,
Yeah.
you know, or to move through a flat ski at initiation.
Yes.
Because I'm
you're
gonna help you out.
transitioning, it's, you know, it's
Pivoting into bumps is a good thing.
Hmm.
I mean,
But
you're
pivoting
steering
and
your skis,
steering the
you're
bumps
steering
is
and your
even
tips,
better.
you know, getting the tips down. I can see like
Yeah.
tipping and tips down, like, but I don't usually use cues of edging in bumps. I would rather use cues of, you know, think of your tips down, you're almost as if like we do like what's it? It's more of a tactical exercise where you lift the
Yeah.
heels up, you know, like as
Yep.
if you're lifting up the
No,
heels.
I
and
agree
tip
with you, but
and then you
all of
kind of
that
like
should
scoop it
happen
out.
with
And you
some
end up
kind of a tipping
tipping
motion.
and edging to some degree as you come
Yeah.
and steer through the bumps, and that's
I
kind of
would actually add that in. Try it. That idea of tipping the legs down before any of the
yeah,
other things happen.
yeah,
It will. Yeah.
flexion, extension, all.
Oh,
But I'm
it
just like
will.
this edged garlands to me as a if I were doing a progression, you know, and helping a guest get into the bumps, that's not something I would ever pick. I'm just saying.
Actually, I've done this in the bumps where we do an edged
I'm
garland
gonna
like
try
that
it.
in the
I'm gonna
bumps,
do it. I'm gonna
where
try it.
we flow in and then flow out and go over a bump and then flow in and flow out and go over a bump.
Medium
It's a
radius turn.
very effective way of getting them to get over the fact that nobody wants to go that way, right? They're all scared to go down the hill. And if I could get them to like start to feel like they're moving down the hill a little bit by tipping their legs first,
Mm,
then the rest of it becomes very easy.
Well, I'm gonna give it.
And I'm not even kidding. It's not even just a couple of people. I've done these bump camps and I usually have 2 or 3 people go, that is the thing that made the biggest difference was me tipping the legs down the hill makes everything so much easier instead of throwing myself.
Hmm.
So
It's
did
a
you go forward and backward in these
Mhm.
on a bump hill in a little mini garlands a little bit, like
yeah,
over
yeah,
and back and just kind of float down and then pivot to the other side and go back and forth and
yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
can
yeah.
do it you can do it at a very low level. You know,
yeah,
it's a,
little bumps. Yeah, it can't
You
be
could
too
do it. Yeah. Falling leaf in the bumps is a very effective way
falling leaf.
too.
That's what I was
In the
thinking.
Yeah. Falling
bumps?
leaf.
That's
Yeah.
what I was saying. Yeah, I'm
Oh
gonna try
yeah.
oh yeah,
that falling
falling
leaf in
leaf
the
in the
bump.
bumps is amazing.
Really? I've
That's what I
never
meant.
seen that.
Falling leaf when you go
Yeah.
I
back
mean,
and forth.
I'm with Joanne here because I would always do,
Makes sense.
short radius turns. I would do pivot slips in the bumps. Never would I do
No,
how.
I'm gonna
you
try
need
it.
to explore all these things that Jim Shaw would make us do.
Wow.
Try
Yeah.
W turns in the
Yeah.
bumps, where you're not allowed to ever stop moving. You don't have, the end goal is you can switch directions and not go the way you're pointed, but you end up then having to go basically backwards for half a turn. It works everyone's fore, aft, and side to side pressure like nobody's business.
Wow.
Mm.
And that's stolen straight from Todd Metz.
What's a W turn?
So you come down the hill,
Mhm.
make like a J turn where you go back up, and then you stall out and you let yourself go backwards and finish the W.
Yes. Okay.
And then you go forwards and then up and then backwards and finish the W.
Wow.
It's a variation of falling leaf.
Right. That's what it
It
sounds.
just has a little bit more steering than what you might normally have in falling leaf. And I would learn to do these on groomed before you go in the bumps.
I think I did those ones with Kate as a precursor to whirly birds, if that sounds possible. I don't, maybe that's wrong.
Actually, yes,
That could
because
be.
it forces you to adjust your fore aft, which is where most people get off in a whirly bird.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it forces you to manage your edges.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So did you guys get a good idea of what our demonstration was? This is a pretty good one, right? It seemed very obvious to us. I mean, granted, I get it. But what we're going to do is we're going to divide you out into 4 groups. Kelby, I'm going to ask you to help out with the group that you're in, and Alona, I'm going to ask you to help out in the group you're in. And then Dion, obviously you're going to help out, and Larry, you're going to help out in your group. All right. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a situation, a candidate, what their ski performance is, and I'm going to give you a fundamental that you need to focus on. Okay. Yes. If you
Okay.
want to add a secondary focus, a fundamental, I'm not going to argue with you at all. I would love to see that. But if you could explain all 4 or 5 fundamentals, that would be, that would achieve the gold star. Okay. Are we ready?
Ready as we're
All right.
gonna be.
Go to your rooms.
Try to finish. What was the change that we made? That's
Yeah.
That's a lot of words to read
That's a
in.
lot of words, but it's got to be shaping something in your head already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a change. Outside ski engages before inside ski, which means he's probably going a lot better with the ski to ski pressure.
Yep.
Skis dip simultaneously at or after apex, which is maybe
Too late.
it's not quite
the
as
fall
early
line.
as you would like, but it's not terrible. Both skis begin to bend before apex. That's usually a good thing, but maybe the inside ski might be bending more than it should. And skis rotation is consistent after apex. And you got to read between the lines that maybe is not as consistent as it should be before apex. So what does that mean in terms of fore aft pressure? Or if you pick pressure management,
I'm gonna have to read this like 20 more times.
I did not trick these up. I did not. I didn't do these to mess you up. I made these I actually observed real skiers and said, okay, what would I like them to do?
So we're trying to talk about what the skier was doing before.
Yes. What
We were
was the
doing
ski performance before? What was the body performance that we saw?
Mhm.
So he was probably, what do you say, wedging when he went into the turn?
Okay.
Well, if you're saying the skis engaged before inside skis, so he's got more on the outside and then the inside, so you got like a wedge, right?
You think so?
I don't know.
You tell me. Back up your premise.
Outside ski engages before inside ski. So he's
Yes.
there and there.
Right. Remember, this is the change. This is not the This is not the initial one. What do you think he was doing before?
So this is really hurting
Making
my brain.
Z-shaped turns. I don't know, because you said the turns are rounder now.
Well, they're rounder now. So what do you think they were before?
Z-shaped.
Z-shaped, comma shaped, right? I mean, it could be any of those. So from that performance, what do you think they were doing? What were the skis doing in order to create that performance?
Well, the skis were probably rotating abruptly.
Yes.
The skier's body was inclining or banking.
Yes. Probably. So what does that mean in terms of fore aft pressure?
Okay, I'm gonna try to break it down into turn phases here.
Yeah.
The
There
skier
we
was
go.
the skier was aft,
Right.
obviously, the whole time, but the skier has to become centered at some point to
Right.
get the skis back around. So I'm guessing there was a quick up extension at the initiation. And then as the skier moved from initiation to shaping, the skis started to bend from the back and they continued to bend from the back towards the finish phase. And then as the skier moved to the next turn, there was a quick up extension. Then the skis bended
And
from behind.
and then we have an overall performance. Shape of turn is round after initiation phase with a shorter finish. So his finish was probably pretty long because from a 4F standpoint,
Because he was back.
back, right? So he has to gather himself back up for the next turn.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Yes, Rita, does that make sense?
Yeah,
Way to make the brain work, Gumby.
I know, right? Like,
I know.
I
Damn
want to
it.
see it now. All ski engages before inside. So what, show me with your hands what he's doing.
He is doing more of this instead of this,
Right.
right? He's not quite there yet because I purposely said both skis begin to bend before apex, which means the engagement is happening, but maybe not quite. This is quite as good as we want it to be. This one's engaging first, but this one's still a little bit more pressure than it probably should be.
Oh, that's my left turn. You just
Yeah,
described my left turn.
right. Skis rotation is consistent after apex, which means that jives with what you said. There's an extension, which moves them back. So what do we got to do in order to get the skis to turn?
You want the PSIA textbook answer?
And PSI textbook answer is what the examiners are going to ask you.
We have to, let's see.
We have three methods of rotation. We have UBR, we have counter rotation, we have leg rotation, and we have outside influence. What do you
So
think it is?
the skier has to control the ski's rotation with leg rotation separate from the upper body, which will
That's
help.
the ideal. So what
Yep.
do you think they're doing before that?
So,
This jives with the whole 4F pressure thing, right? Because if
so
we're back at initiation, what do we got to do?
we've got to do a quick up extension to get back up and over the skis. And
Right?
then to
Then what do
get
we
the
got to do from there?
skis around, the skier has to twist the upper body, which causes the pivot point to be on the tip of the ski. The tails will wash out. They'll continue to wash out from shaping to finish, and it's wash, rinse, repeat. The skier extends quickly at the top of the turn, pivots from the tip, ski tails wash out from shaping to finish.
Roger, does that make sense to you?
You know, I'm still trying to reprocess because it's been so, it
It's
feels
been
like
a
years
while.
since I was
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't been
Yeah.
thinking these things here for months and months.
Yeah, yeah, cool. So this is kind of what we're trying to do is not walk you through this, but basically make you have to think about what's actually happening. And Kelsey's made a great connection of the body performance in order to get to here, and the ski performance is she actually walked you through that whole piece. There's an upper extension, and because there's an extension, it's not necessarily forward or down the hill, it's up, which means you need to do this to get the skis to turn, which means there's probably more pressure on the inside ski than the outside ski. So what did we do? We got rid of that up extension, got them moving a little bit more centered over the ski so that we could do this instead of this.
So Gumby, what I'd be curious in regards to magnitude to what the examiners want to hear, because from my understanding, Jen Metz wanted to hear more than just light and heavy.
Yeah, you don't want to know. Yes.
Yeah. So Thinking
Because it's not
magnitude-
just, yeah, the light and heavy alludes to what? That old idea of flexion and extension, it controls pressure. No,
Mhm.
no, you have to start talking about the edging and the rotational part. Skis bite, skis. Well, in Jen Metz's case, Jen Metz is all about, we need to start talking about oppositional forces or forces that are created
Mhm.
and that come back at us. I call that grip.
Yep.
And I've actually had discussions with her all summer about that idea of grip. And, you know, her idea is that we need to create forces that come back at us. And how do we control that? Grip is the same way as I am describing that same thing.
Mhm.
So we're creating grip. Where is a grip happening? It's happening here or here, and it's coming back at us.
Right.
So, and grip comes from rotation and it comes from edging,
Mhm.
not, we're creating pressure. We're not allowing pressure to build. You understand?
Yeah.
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 And how do we functionally adjust to that?
Mhm.
Cool.
Mhm.
All right. Great job. Rita, does that make sense to you? You're going to have to
Yeah.
speak, right?
Yeah, I know. I don't speak.
You
It's
need
what-
to come up with something that's going to support. I mean, one of the things I didn't give you guys was the task. I left the task open. What do you think the task was?
What the instructor did to change this person skiing?
100%. Yes.
Oh, well, because I've been training with you forever. It's going to be outside ski turns, right?
No, that is
No?
Scott, not me.
Oh, okay.
If you want to use that, I have no problem with that. Scott's favorite thing is talking about outside ski turns. My God, in the locker room, that's all he talks about. I had them do outside ski turns, and that was amazing, right? I'm like, there's other things you can do once in a
Yeah.
while, right? So, yeah, come up with the task. What do you think the task was? I left that wide open. I did not put the task in. I just told you the situation, what the result was. Hey, outside ski turns is not a bad thing. They're hard.
Yeah, just because we were talking about it, I think on the right terrain, the falling leaf, that's going to help pressure to the outside ski. That's going to help flatten the skis, tip the skis.
You have to control all that to control your fore aft, right?
Craft, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's one thing I love given in the lesson is the falling leaf. I always
Yeah.
do.
You know what? It's very effective. Very effective. I love that drill.
Lot
It's
of-
simple.
Yeah.
Kids love it. The other one I love to do with kids is side slip races.
So would you do side slips here or J turns?
I would do side slips.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes back to that same thing we talked about with the last skier, which is how to control our edging. And it's not necessarily getting on edge, which is what most of us instructors think about, is how do we get off of edge? How can we tip and allow the skis to move down the hill without having a lot of edge? And I love side slip races. And I specifically tell kids all the time, I've never been beat. And they're suddenly like, oh, I'm in, let's go. And they want to do side slip races with me. All right, cool. So it's 7:03 or 7:03. So I'm going to go ahead and end this. Yes.
Okay, no, that's okay. Yeah, all of a sudden it's like Gumby ended the meeting. Wow, he's over
I
us.
did not. It was it's supposed to be the first one, not end meeting, end breakout rooms.
Well,
That was pretty
Oh,
funny.
they must
I
have
was like,
switched
I was
it.
like, whoa.
I guess he's just, I know, it was like, well, I guess he's sick of us.
You know, he
Yes,
does
I
get
am.
mad.
I'm
He
tired.
does get mad at me now and then.
Yeah.
He decided the conversation just was not going the direction he wanted it to,
That's
so
right.
he's done.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Actually, I was very surprised. There was a lot of prompting that happened, but the group I was in did very, very well of figuring it out. So, and I'm going to say this right off the bat. I did not give you guys the task. I left
We
that
noticed.
open-ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a reason
that's
why,
good.
because I cheated and I gave you all the exact same skier.
Agreed.
And
It made your job
now
easy.
Thumbs up.
you have to describe the skier based upon the fundamental that you are given. And I'm going to say, Larry, let's go with your group first.
Okay. Where is? Oh, there's Laura.
I'm here.
Laura, you good? Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh,
Laura,
hold
I didn't
on.
mean
Let
to
me
bump
let
you
me
off.
make myself into a person.
Oh, there you
Okay.
are.
Well, can we read? So we all had the same description?
You all had the exact same description.
Okay, so
Yes.
I don't need to start by reading the description because we've all
No,
We
you
read
all
do
the
had
not.
description a lot.
Chad, really?
We all had Chad.
Chad.
I'm a faker. No, I'm lazy. That's the reason why I did that. Chad had 2
Yeah.
weeks before his exam. Chad had a clinic focused on basic parallels where Chad demonstrated better performance as indicated in the ski performance below. Outside skis engaged before inside ski. Skis tip simultaneously at or before or after apex.
After,
Both skis
yeah.
began to bend before apex. Skis rotated consistently after apex. Shape of the turn is round after initiation. Shape of turn is round after initiation phase with a shorter finish. Go.
Okay, so we felt the thing that we most noticed, where rotation, is that his outside ski is engaging before his inside ski at the top of the
Cool.
turn. So
Cool.
because there's that sequential, not simultaneous movement, we thought he's rotating too much with his upper body, which is causing the outside ski to engage first. And so to get a more, to get his initiation, well, I won't even say that. So what we wanted to do to fix
Oh,
that,
no, don't skip a step. This is the part that is, you've rotated the ski. So tell me about what the body's doing.
well, what the body's doing, we think, is that the upper body is rotating
Okay. And what's
first.
that causing the legs to
It-
do?
It's causing the skis for the outside ski to engage first.
Oh, okay. That's causing the
Or-
ski to engage. What's the body doing?
I just said that the upper body's rotating, so I don't know what you mean.
Yes. So what does that mean for our legs biomechanically? What'd you
Help
say,
me,
Dave?
Larry. I
I
don't.
said inclining. And-
Well, that's going to be an edging
but
thing.
the
She's talking about
pressure is,
rotation.
I saw it more like a Z turn, and when the upper
Yes.
body rotation, the body's turning to the inside, moving back. There's pressure more on his inside ski, and there's pressure more on the tails of the ski. So he's
Cool.
sliding around.
So what does that mean if he's using UBR, upper body rotation? What does that mean for the legs? Because we all know what this does. What does that cause the legs to do?
They're pivoting around. And
Yes.
The outside leg
How?
will,
You can't say anything, Larry. That's just cheating.
okay.
well,
He's leaning
Well, we were
back
talking-
and not leaning.
there may be some we were talking about convergence and divergence of the skis.
Sure. I get that. You guys are murdering the ski performance. Tell me about what the body's doing to make that ski do that. Go ahead.
Let's go.
I
But
I think he's not in form. He's standing more up and leaning backwards instead of being forward where he should be, which would put the weight and the pressure where it needs to be.
Sure. And
And
that's
by
causing him to do the upper body rotation, because that's the only thing you can do. But what's that causing the body to do? I want the connection between the upper body rotation and skis.
What it causes the outside ski to engage first, and he's not
Actually, it's
having a
lighter.
round top of the turn.
It's lighter, so it's moving away, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually lighter,
Okay.
so it's not engaged yet. But
Wait, it
what's
said
the
the outside,
body
it said the
doing?
outside one engaged first, so that wouldn't mean it was lighter, I would think.
So if I use my shoulders and I twist this way, what's that making my leg do?
Straightening,
So
straightening.
you're
leg.
standing on the end, you're standing on the
Extension.
inside leg and you're pushing the outside leg away.
There we go. Yes,
Incline.
that's a connection, right? So if I'm using, if I twist this, this is one, the leg is two.
Okay,
This is one, the leg is two,
okay.
right? And then we settle in, right? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
That's a connection they're going to be looking for. That's the body performance connecting to the ski performance. What would be the new body performance?
What we're
This
hoping
is
is
the
that
ideal.
the
Yeah.
ideal would be that he's turning from his legs with upper body separation. And so we wanted to have him do some pivot slips so that he
Cool.
could practice that lower body rotation,
Cool. We're rotating from where?
rotating from his femurs and his hip sockets.
Cool. And that's going to
Legs.
cause the skis to do what?
That's going to cause his skis to engage more simultaneously and in hopefully a rounder shape.
Maybe not engage, but
Steer,
Rotate.
it's
rotate.
going to
or
get them
simul-
to, hold on, it's going to get them to
Steer or-
steer simultaneously into the top of the turn.
Cool.
Mhm.
Cool. All right. Who's up next? Dion, you want your group to go next?
I
She's
think
writing stuff
Dave-
down.
Dave-
She's already
Yeah,
disengaged. What the hell?
No,
No,
I'm taking notes on what's working and not working. Be nice.
Cool.
David
Go.
already talked, but he can
Yeah,
talk
I
again.
was in Dion's group with Joanne.
Oh, now you got a Spruckensy. No, so you're gonna have to appoint somebody else in your group to speak.
Well,
That
Joanne.
would be Joanne.
Yeah.
Oh, Joanne. Uh-oh.
Well, we were kind of focusing on ski to ski pressure. That was the first thing that Dion had said. So that's why we ended
Cool.
up with stork turns as a task. But we were cut off when we were Dion was drilling us. Now, what would that? Too bad we missed it, Dion. I'm really sorry I missed answering your question.
Oh, she's mean
But-
like me. I get it.
I wanted
Yeah.
to know why you wanted
Why?
what specifically in stork turns would help. That's what I
Okay.
wanted to know.
Mm.
Yeah, outside pressure, more directing pressure to the outside and also engaging that outside edge of that inside ski. And getting the skis to tip.
All right, let's start
Mm.
here. What do you think the performance was? We've already
Well,
talked about it, so now you get to
yeah,
repeat.
Yeah, we said inclination, a lot of inclination at the top of the turn. Shoulders.
You were talking about
talking
ski to
about
ski
ski
pressure
performance,
though, right?
Sorry.
You're talking about ski to ski pressure?
Yeah,
All
which
right, I was
means
going
she's
with
gonna do
body.
the magic word aligned.
Gonna do-
No, not necessarily. She's going to say something that starts with a B and ends with tank. So we're doing what? How are we creating edging? Or how are we? No, you're doing ski to ski pressure, right?
Well, we
Yeah.
were,
Yes.
yeah.
So which part of this, which ski is bending more than the other ski at the initiation?
You're talking about prior to his ideal, right? You're talking about our-
Prior to his ideal, yeah. What
Yeah.
is the crappy part? Yes.
The
Yeah,
observed portion.
we observed that there was more inside ski pressure.
Cool.
Ski, inside ski was turning faster maybe than the outside ski.
At
So
initiation?
the skis diverged. Well, he could have, if he's inclined, He's
At
his
initiation?
outside ski and he has more weight on that inside ski. He's pivoting that inside ski so the ski tips
Well,
diverge.
hold on. So the last group just talked about rotation,
Yeah,
and they said that there was a convergence at the initiation.
yeah, now I see more. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
could be both. Could be uneven.
A
Hmm.
convergence
Maybe a
and a
right
divergence.
turn is one way and a left turn is the other.
I'll go with that. I like
We can
that.
have it any way we want, Gumby. We just got to come up with enough bullshit fast enough. That's
It's
right,
just gotta,
Joanne.
you
On his
gotta get
right
through me
turn, he
first.
has a
Support.
divergence.
So let's marry the two together. So at initiation, what do you think the outside ski is doing first? Well, we just got a
I'm
description
saying
of that,
about
right?
3 different skiers now, so I don't know
No,
about
it's all the same
that, but
skier. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, he's probably got more pressure on the inside ski
Correct.
because we got to lighten the outside ski to get to turn first.
Right. So he's gonna if he's more inclined and he's upright and he's rotating with the shoulders, the inside ski is gonna turn faster, and so that those tips diverge until the other one catches up.
If
at
he's
the
inclined,
finish.
and he's rotated, the inside ski's got the most pressure on it, and it's
Correct.
the
That's what
one
I
that's
just
the
said.
least likely to move
It's the least
first.
likely to move.
The one that has a less amount of pressure is the one that
Mm.
moves first.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
well, it
It's
seems
very
like
hard to
Except,
move the
Gumby, if he has so much pressure on the inside that the outside slides away and doesn't turn
that's what I was thinking.
Well,
Like
no,
because
it
it
probably
isn't
won't turn.
actually engaged at all.
It's not turning us. No, you're right. But this is planted. The inside
Not
ski's planted.
necessarily.
Well, for all intents and purposes, if I stand here on one leg and I move the outside leg away,
It
the inside
depends on
leg's not
whether we
moving.
move the outside leg away that soon.
Hmm.
If I actually move briefly to my outside leg and incline and twist from there, I'm going to move back over my inside leg.
That's what I'm
But there
thinking.
is a moment where my inside leg can accelerate.
Is
It's
this
called
at
a rotary
initiation?
push-off.
Is this initiation or is this at finish?
Initiation to apex, right in that beginning part of the turn.
So
You
yes,
can have it
now
be
we are.
both ways.
Mm.
Let's keep it simple.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just defending Joanne.
I get it. I'm going to say that the outside ski moves because that's what the other group described. And that means it's got to be lighter. So the inside ski is going to have more pressure at the initiation. Then it's going to move after we go ahead and move to an edge. Now this ski is going to have more pressure and we can move the inside ski.
I see what
Yes?
you're saying. So at the
Yes.
apex, more directed pressure to the outside, then the inside diverges.
Yes.
Diverge
Yes.
because he pivots it. Okay, I see that. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. There might be a divergence. I did not describe that, but there could be a possibility
Yeah,
of divergence.
A little bit.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is
Now we're
basic
making it even
parallel.
more fun for the next group because they have to use the convergence and divergence.
Well, I don't know. The next group might be 4 after edging. So, all right. What tasks you already talked about? You're going to go to
Mhm.
stork turns. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, cool. Whose group is next? Larry, we already did your group, right?
We already did.
Oh, Alona, you get to
Mhm.
do yours.
Okay,
Pick somebody. They get to talk, not you.
okay. I don't know who wants to be the volunteer to discuss what we summarized for the skier.
Oh, don't be scared. Come on.
I'm not scared.
Oh, I know you're not.
Well,
All right, go ahead and start them
Okay.
off.
I'll
All
go.
right, Joel, go
Oh,
ahead.
go.
Well, we picked maintain or control edge angles through a combination of angulation and inclination. And what we have observed is that his skis are not tipping simultaneously.
Cool. When?
When
Add
are
some
they
dirt.
when are they tipping? Well, it sounds like the intensity increases after the apex.
Cool. For one ski or both?
The outside ski is
Use your hands. Show me.
so the outside ski doesn't have as much pressure at the start, and then that increases as the inside ski starts to match it.
So we're rotating it out,
Yep.
right?
There's some kind of
And
probably
it's
wedge.
gaining an edge, right?
Mhm. Right.
And then that's happening at initiation. Then at apex, there is a matching.
Mm-hmm.
And there's probably a lot of pressure at the end, right?
Yep.
Or a lot of edging at the end.
Yes.
What's the body doing? What's the body doing to create that? We've already.
Well, he's inclined, and we also imagine that probably there's some sort of a step on that inside ski to get it over to match the outside ski.
I love that. Cool. Yeah. So there's like a right?
Yes.
Yeah. I love that. Cool. Great description. So what would you like to see better from the body to create this new ski performance that we've talked about?
We would like to see a combination of angulation and inclination, so more angulated.
Okay.
And then that would help ideally to get the skis to tip simultaneously or more simultaneously.
More simultaneously at the top. Cool. What task did you guys come up with it? Did you talk about a task?
We did. We talked about railroad tracks just to start learning how to tip the skis simultaneously, guided uphill arcs, edged garlands, aimed at edging and steering.
Yeah, it's initiation. That's good, right? That idea of tipping first before we shove. That's a good one. Cool. Good. Kelby. Last group.
All right. You want me to
I
describe
know
what the skier was previously skiing?
you could, or you could pick somebody in your group.
Anyone want to
Who was in
go?
your group?
I don't
don't
want
even
to put
remember
anyone
now.
on the spot.
Rita was. Rita loves to be in the spotlight. You're on mute. You're still on mute.
No, we
There
talked
we go.
about fore and aft, and she was saying that you had to flex to get them fore and aft forward on the ski, right?
Well, let's go back. What do you think the initial ski performance was? This part here, the observed ski performance. What do you think they were doing?
Well, they weren't tipping in the beginning of the turn. I think they were aft.
Okay, so what does that mean from a ski performance?
So their weight is back.
The weight is back, and what's causing the skis to do what?
I don't know. Can we go?
No, I
Bend.
want to give you the
They're
answer.
bending in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
sorry.
bending in the back. They're bending in the back.
Right,
They're not
Right.
engaging at the tips.
right.
Yes. When I hear engagement, though, I'm already going straight to
But
the
then,
fifth fundamental when I hear that. So
well, you're going rotary, and you talked about grip comes from the rotation and edging.
Wait, why is
Yeah.
engagement the fifth fundamental?
because that's really like literally in the fundamental.
Okay. Okay.
That makes sense.
So it'd be better to say the skis are bending more in the back and not bending in the front if we're focused on fore and aft.
If we're focused on fore and aft, yes.
Okay.
We have several performances. Pressure is bending, skis are tipping, or skis are pivoting, turning, or rotating.
Okay.
Those are the ski performances that we talk about. When we start talking about engagement or grip or any of those
Right.
things, we're
Okay.
automatically into how is that? I'm not gonna disapprove of it. Just be careful of the language.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
And then he
Go
was
ahead.
out, I mean, he was out because the turns took longer.
So yeah, you had to gather back up. What does that mean from a body performance? What do you think his body was doing that caused his skis to bend and back?
Who's inclined?
Sure.
The
And what
ankles were
else?
open, the ankles were open, the knees were overflexed, and the hip joint was open.
Cool.
Probably due, and the spine was straight. The spine was vertical.
Vertical. Does that make sense, Rita?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the ideal? What do we make a change in? Oh, so Alona, you're just cheating now. That's just wrong. Where's she at? All right, go ahead. Yes, yes, congratulations. Go ahead, Rita. So what would be the ideal? What would
Well,
the
we were
ideal?
gonna do the falling leaf to manage
Mhm.
fore and aft pressure and then outside turns. Inside out,
Sure. So what would that cause the body to do?
put pressure on the downhill ski,
Sure. But we're talking
right?
about fore aft. Fore aft.
And
So if
body
you're doing the
performance.
falling leaf, you're managing fore and aft, you're managing. I can't even think straight. Oh,
With-
sorry. I don't like
With the
being.
falling,
That's all right. Go
falling
ahead,
leaf,
Kelby.
with the falling leaf, you have to open and close the joints. You have to be opening and closing that ankle joint in order to go forward on the ski or back on the ski. And you're extending the knee joint and flexing it, same along with the hip joint.
That's going to cause the skis to do what they're describing, right? Yeah, bending more in the middle instead of, that's going to allow us to do that engagement and the tipping and the rotation thing that we've been talking about. And your task was falling leaf, right? Cool. Yes. Does this help any? Is this boring or not working, or tell me? This is your opportunity to tell me. Give
No,
me some
this is
feedback
really
on this
good.
task.
I mean, this really makes you think through the whole process, and thinking it backwards also. I mean, it's a real cognitive exercise. You have to really back up and think about the pieces you've been learning so you can formulate them in a progressive manner. It's like, yeah, I like
Good.
it.
2 weeks ago made more sense to me. I can't articulate exactly what was different, but the order we
Same.
did it in 2 weeks ago made a lot of sense. Today, I've
Okay.
been a little confuzzled.
That's it. That's how I feel. I feel confused. Like I feel totally
Okay.
like 2 weeks ago, that
It worked
task
better.
was really
It's
worked out.
normal, right? It's normal. And then I've forced you to go backwards and it's been, what the hell? Right. I get it.
Well,
Okay. What else? Anybody else got any comments?
I like
This is
I
important for
wasn't
us
here.
too.
I think that these descriptions are very helpful. And I think it's also very interesting to hear the different groups describe what they feel was the issue, the problem, and then the prescription.
Okay. What else?
I,
Anybody
I,
else?
I wasn't
Go ahead.
here 2 weeks ago. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Go
no?
ahead. Yes.
Granted, I wasn't here 2 weeks ago, but with all of us with the same thing, it shows that we've all come up with something different in solving the same problem. I mean, everyone sees things in a different light.
Yes. Yes. Cool.
Yeah,
What else?
looking at it from the from the variety of skills application is, and looking at the same skier, it helps you dial in your thinking and your eye and you know the tools that you need to stay on focus, whether it's a rotary focus, whether it's an edging focus or pressure management, etc. But yeah, so that I think that's the value of the exercise, is that I think it's great that we all have the same skier and then we're talking through the different skill sets. Yeah.
Well, and I'm lazy.
Well, we all
No,
know that.
I changed it to the last minute because I was like, ooh, this would be an interesting twist if I didn't tell you that it was all gonna be the same skier until the end.
Mhm.
I think if you
Right.
had chosen different skiers, Gumby, that would have been a little more confusing. I think the
It
same.
would have made it
Yeah.
way
all
more
Yep.
confusing. Yeah,
I
yeah.
I think what
agree.
I
Yeah,
would have
that's
liked to have seen is here, each group focus as your primary fundamental is this, and then add in another. Like if I,
yeah.
like right when Dion said, okay, outside ski pressure, right away, I was thinking certain things. So I think it's easier to focus if we're doing the same skier next time, to just have everyone pick a primary fundamental and then see what everyone comes up with.
Yeah, I agree.
I like
I'm
that.
at least
I
for
like that.
me. Yeah.
Because otherwise, because we were talking rotation, then we were talking ski to ski, then we were talking, yeah, edging. It just gets a little murky if you're trying to do all of the fundamentals with the short time you have.
All right, cool. Good.
Anyway.
I like that. I like that.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, yeah.
Any other comments? Kelby, do you got anything you want to try to add in?
No, I think this was good. It kind of reminded me of pressing the rewind on the VCR button.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You gotta work really hard to press that button.
Yeah. All right, good. Joel, any comments?
I liked it, and the fact that you made us pick that fundamental before we could read what we were
Yeah.
going to MA.
Yeah.
That was challenging.
Yeah. I had some cheaters. They wanted to read it first and
Yeah, no name mentioned.
no, that's fine. Roger,
Well,
any
and
comments?
the fact that we built a common picture of that skier through the discussion, you know, I think we all have a picture of that particular skier.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Because one of the things that I didn't add in was all the dirt parts, right? I mean, was the skier this close to being ideal, or was they this far from being ideal? Right? And that's the part that was, I kind of left a little fuzzy. And I wanted to, I mean, it could, this is a 1-day deal and this is more advanced skiers. So we're looking at smaller incremental changes. We're not looking at, oh, this skier went from, basically doing wedge turns to bump skiing in the same day. That's just, I mean, how often does that happen? Like never. But
Oh, I
we
have it
have to
happen all
start.
the time.
Oh, okay. Well, the Larry is the exception. But the one thing I want you to put in your head is that we're really looking at incremental changes and how that incremental change works. So I'm trying to keep it broad enough that it's obvious, but at the same time, keep in mind that the difference between what the performance was, that was the ideal, and what we probably were was probably not as great as we thought it was, right? Maybe they were a little bit more back, but how much were they more back? When were they more back? When were they rotating with their upper body? I'm going to tell you that 95% of the skiers that we watch, including candidates, are almost always rotating with their upper body. Edging is almost never simultaneous, right? And we need to figure that out. And so trying to figure out, and I left a little bit of open area, and I told this to my group, was there's a little bit of openness there still from the performance standpoint to the ultimate ideal, which is, Jonathan Ballou, unachievable basic parallels that we've already seen a million times, right? Okay.
They're not
And
unachievable because he can do them.
he can do them. I can't do Jonathan Blue. I'm like 6 inches taller than he is.
And you outweigh
I
him
don't think
by,
it's the height, Scumby.
And I outweigh him by like, yeah. So, all right, good.
Dave, all our work
Your
can do it.
feedback is vitally important. Please give us feedback. If this is working for you, because we're going to keep massaging
Yeah.
this, knowing full well that there's no ideal, perfect. I mean, there's no path, but I want to challenge you guys in different ways. And I'm going to be using, this little model, this model here as kind of our guide. All right. I might be adding some stuff later, but I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. But at the same time, I want to challenge you and make you better so that we can describe things. Yes? No? Indifferent?
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
sticking with this for a while at least until it catches would be good versus jumping all over the place. If I had
All right, cool.
a recommendation and just doing it, breaking it down to a point where it's, very
Yeah.
clear,
Yeah.
What I
As
really
Mike likes
liked,
to say, using that stupid gray matter.
Yeah.
what I really liked is sort of seeing that we all can approach the same skier from different directions to essentially obtain the same result.
Yeah. I am very, very happy with the results that you guys gave us. Was it perfect? No, but I'm not looking for perfect. I'm looking for moving along the progressions line. Yes? All right, cool. All right. Thank you. Thank you for putting up with me for a
Thank
minute
you.
or two.
Thanks.
And
night.
All right, good
yeah,
night.
good night.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you.